I think we improve much on the field. We deal with a lot of constant pressure. And of course, after a period of the immense suffering, we began to win the ball back, implemented our comfort, found space on the ball. Um, when you have a player like Oli who can find space and really impose himself in the box, we always have a chance. So really pleased with the result.
Hello, everyone.
What's good?
Welcome to another mock episode. Hopefully, it's the last mock episode before we launch of Ball IQ Pod, a pod for thinkers of the game. So we like to think ourselves.
Of course.
So we'll go over recap of the games that we watched this past week. Deep dive into the games of the week. I mean, we're recording this right after the Barcelona Inter Milan game, so that's obviously coming hint. We'll talk about the best goals we saw this past week as well, and the upcoming fixtures with immense ramifications. I can't even say the word right.
It's just, it's coming hot and heavy. Every day this week, it was just
ridiculous.
It was something new. So
yeah,
I'd love to get into it today.
Yep. And IQ Spotlight, right? So the baller of the week, essentially. So surprise, is some guy that plays for Barcelona. So I would not be happy when we get to that point. But all right, let's get going and recap real quick. Liverpool champions, meaning this guy has to give him God of Honor in a couple of days. So that's fun.
You got to give it to them. I mean, they were in we fell off. I think actually watching the interview for the lead up for the game, Slot mentioned how he thought we were going to stay with them the entire season, but we kind of self-destructed. So credit to Liverpool. They had a great season. I can't say anything about it.
Yeah, that's one thing you can't do. Argue against league champions. It's like you can't argue that.
Exactly.
So congratulations to Liverpool. Well deserved. Like there's no long talk there. Shout out Shopsy. So you may need to send him a message.
Hopefully they just oblige with 3 points. That would be great. Hopefully they're on the wines, as they say it, this entire week, and we can get some 3 points after giving them some applause.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that. That's definitely a game to watch. Coming up. Chelsea beat Everton. Speaking of Chelsea, 1-0. Big ramifications for a top 4 finish. So I'm sure you're happy. Nico back.
Yeah, no, it was a great game. It was one of the few games we've seen with a clean sheet, kind of a classic vintage win. Chelsea win 1-0, nothing too fancy.
Yeah.
Get it out of the way and shut it down, which was great to see against a team like Everton, who's organized and definitely scrappy. So
very scrappy. Speaking of top 4 in England, Newcastle beat Ipswich 3-0. Straightforward win, not too much over there. Big result was Brentford beating Forest at home 2-0. Vissa, any words?
I mean, I was telling Tolu earlier this week, I feel like he's one of those players. He's one of the ones who isn't too flashy in his game, but if you give him space, you give him a chance, he will finish it. He will finish, and he will, he'll steal some points off you, especially late.
Yeah.
I think Thomas Frank's very, very tactical when he brings him on, whether it's starting or like a super sub.
Oh, the super sub days are over. That's not happening. He's been starting. And he's going to continue starting. So obviously big results because that leaves Forest outside looking in now.
Yeah.
Palace FA Cup action. Palace beating Villa 3-0. Definitely did not see that happening. And I was telling Nelson watching that game how interesting it was that Palace sat like in their 5-4-1 formation and just picked their time to press, win the ball over, score. All 3 goals, just off turnovers like that.
Yeah, I mean they really have a knack for the counterattack, and all those goals were bangers. It's really interesting to see kind of Villa look kind of shaky, to be honest. Both Villa and Forest, these past couple of fixtures, but that one got away from them quickly. It looked like Palace came in very organized.
Very, very organized. So fun game to watch. Then City beat Forest 2-0 as well. So it'll be a City Palace final.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to see Palace win.
Yeah.
It'll be nice.
I think the entire world is
apart from City fans.
Yeah, apart from City fans, but they've saved some face with how rocky and tumultuous the season's been. I'm sure they'd love to seal it with some sort of silverware. But
that would be like just like how United finished last season and still won the silverware. This is the City version of it, not as bad, obviously.
Of course.
But yeah, so that was England. Quick stop at Spain. I don't want any long talk on this, please, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
Barca beat Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final 3-2 in extra time. Yeah, it happened. Lost our heads towards the end, throwing things on the field, what have you. But I mean, the game was interesting. Again, Carlo going to pre-Mbappe formation to start.
You called that.
Yeah, I did call it.
Yep.
But to be fair, Mbappe wasn't fit. So obviously at halftime, he comes in for the fall guy, Rodrigo, every time.
Yeah.
They maintained that still maintained the 4-4-2 to an extent. I think when they became dangerous was when they kind of tweaked it to 3-5-2 when Arda and Modric came into the game and the game changed. Watching the game, we became better, scored a couple goals. Even after the loss, I'm like, Inter has to watch this game and take notes. But congratulations to Barca. We'll get to the Inter one piece. So said I wasn't going to take long, and look at me. Anyway, quick stop at Italy. Inter Milan slip again to AS Roma at home. I was saying it last week. I mean, as organized as they are defensively, teams that don't score goals they scare me at the end of the day.
Yeah. Only a matter of time, as you called it. I think with that fixture or that result in mind, it's just not unbeatable at home. You come in with a plan on how to undo how they're set up, and you definitely take some points off of them, if not win the tie. So
yeah. But on the other hand, Napoli won 2-0. Scotty McTee, both goals.
Scotty McTee, McFrat,
no. Oh yeah,
McBro is it's funny.
I didn't even know he had a nickname.
Of course, he always gets a nickname. He does. He's just got ball.
How he went from McFred to the guy in Italy is a crazy transition. But it's crazy that United have a new coach, right? That is playing a style that probably would have suited him.
Yeah.
He
left before he would have really been appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, Timmy, our cousin Timmy would tell you, like, I always used to say, like, this guy's not a DM. Like, that's why he's not, every time he played further forward, he had goals in him. You can see it. So,
yeah, for sure.
Obviously, I'm surprised at the level, but not surprised at the same time because of what he's shown for United briefly and for Scotland.
Yeah. I'll never forget that last season, I think, before he went to Italy. He played very well. He played against. The game against Chelsea, I think he was immense. He'd scored. He's the one player who always has heart. That guy.
Yeah. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and
especially in Serie A.
Especially in Serie A. So obviously, and we're again saying it last week. You have more experience than most with Antonio Conte. Give Antonio Conte a solid team and no Europe, he will win you the league.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's looking like it will happen again. 3 points ahead now. And it's really a 2-horse race now because Atalanta tied. So they're like, 9 points off Napoli now, but 6 points off Inter.
Okay.
So, Inter has Barcelona to deal with. So, very interesting. I again, you would suspect Napoli, but football, you know this game of ours. Like
course.
when you think you know it all, it will shock
Something
you.
will shock you.
It will shock you. So interesting in Italy. Our eyes definitely on it. Then obviously in Champions League, game of the week was Barca Inter 3-3. Let's not talk too much. We'll dive deep into it. Arsenal lost to PSG at home 1-0. We'll also dive a little bit into it. And United Athletic, that one shocked me because of obviously how United's form. But for some reason in Europa, they kind of turned it around. And yes, they had another a man advantage early. But they still went there, did the business, and now all of a sudden Casemiro is good again. All of a sudden.
I mean, he's having this is a late surge. I'm actually kind of concerned about United these last couple of like concerned in the way that we have to play them. You know, they're finding a little bit of their legs, which is nice to see because I think Amarin's a good coach. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's a good coach, but I think he's stubborn. I think he's a little stubborn because he's not flexible tactically. And I mean, gone are the days where we have tactically flexible coaches. So I just don't like how he's trying to
rigid.
Too rigid. Like these guys can't execute. So do something else. Anyway, so congrats to United on their Spurs beat Bodo Glimt 3-1 at home. Chelsea won away. Nico again. How many goals in how many minutes?
Nico had, 2 back-to-back goals, very quick. In their defense, it's Sweden. It's a Swedish league. I think they're 9th. But Nico scored 3 goals in a week. You know, I've said it once. I'll say it again. There's a player in there, and you know, it's going to be immense for him to find his footing this next business end of the season. So next month.
All right. Let's get into this.
Let's do it.
Barca Inter Milan game. Barca Inter Milan. Inter Milan hadn't scored a goal in 3 games. And they go and score 3 goals away at Barcelona.
I mean, the pressure was on. They made it happen. Dumfries. Just a moment for what we saw there.
Yeah.
What a player.
In fact, they consider, another thing is they considered 5 goals in 12 games before, I think, coming into this, and they concede 3 goals. I mean, which again, you are not too surprised because Barcelona, they're probably scoring right now as we speak. They score
in their sleep.
They score in their sleep.
They're just having a moment.
They just score. One of the things I was saying leading up to the game is I thought Barca's high line would be fine apart from the Dumfries angle because that's the only player on Inter's team that has some pace with them. Obviously, the set pieces cost Barcelona. But the way, and I'll get to the tactical board in a minute, but the way Barcelona dominated them, and I mean, Lamine was just...
Yeah. What a player.
Jesus Christ.
Not 1-on-1, not 2-on-2. It takes maybe 3 on this man at this time. This child.
This child is right.
Plays with no fear.
Yeah. And like just looking at how the setup was, you know, Barcelona 4-3-3. They played. That's how they, you know, set up on formation. But how they like to play is Ferran Torres and Dani Olmo, who started as a 10, pretty much played like very, very close to each other. Then Pedri is he just goes there and does what he wants, like he owns the place. He is ridiculous now.
What a player.
He is ridiculous right now. And what Barcelona are trying to do right here is just pin Inter down. And obviously, if they build up the play here, De Jong is the 6, then they find the ball to Pedri, and Pedri just decides what they're doing. More times than not, they're going to Lamine on the right, and Pedri is there to support, of course. Koundé is there to support. Then either Ferran or Olmo is there as well, and they create that box. But most of the time, they kind of stayed away from him and let him cook. And it was, I believe it was Mickey, poor DeMarco, sent send liquid IV, send fruits, everything you can to for him to recover because he had a horrid time dealing with that boy, Lamine. And Bastoni right there, just trying to contain what Lamine was doing. So I think obviously when Lamine scored, Thuram was also coming to help on this side, but individual skill coming to this space, close to the box. Bastoni kind of like stood.
Such a tight window.
It's a very tight window, and bang, into the goal. Beautiful goal, right? But again, this is what they were trying to do for the most part, just pinning them down. And what Inter was trying to do was when they get the ball, depending on the angle that they get it, either Mkhitaryan or Chananoglu or Barella here, they get it on the left. They're looking for Dumfries to make the run, that's how the first goal came. Obviously, beautiful finish from Thuram. But that only worked early in the game because of Barcelona just playing them. They got tired.
Yeah,
you could see in the game, even like a diag, which I mean, obviously, it's not the easiest thing to do, but for professionals, it's pretty easy. When you're gassed, man, when you're gassed, your technique sometimes goes out the window.
Of course, yeah, your composure, your technique, your finishing touch, and I mean, credit to Inter for leaping and pouncing. I think they're very opportunistic throughout the game. With all three of their goals.
But it's very difficult playing against this Barcelona team. You remember I think Marcos Thuram was saying at the end of the game, the pitch is wide. So like when you get the ball, there are sometimes it got to a point where towards the end of the game, Bisek was playing the right center back. He was the one actually driving with the ball to break their press or break the line. I thought that was an indicator like, okay, everybody else can't do this, so let me just do this myself. It was a very interesting game, very fun game, 3-3, of course, And obviously, Lamine is the talk of the town now.
Right. I mean, I think, Lamine had a great game. Rafinha still, I mean, even though that's an own goal by Sommer.
Yeah.
What a strike. I mean.
What a strike. They're going, him and Lamine are going band for band for who's Ballon d'Or, right?
Yeah. Inter came in with, they're obviously taller, height-wise, a taller team than Barca. I think they really tried to express that advantage, in the way they scored their goals, and there's a lot more strength on their team than in the Barca team. You just kind of saw the difference there, in the style of play and the goals conceded. So
we'll see. What do you think is going to happen in Inter?
Oh man, I mean that San Siro is going to be rocking. I think. Like we just spoke about, Inter can be beaten now.
Yeah, they can be.
They definitely can be. I think tactically it's going to be a treat because I think Inzaghi, really has approached this Barcelona tie with a plan. It's worked, in ways that we haven't really seen Barcelona exposed before. And I think at home with the tie and the balance, there's all to play for. I really think, Barcelona, I would give them the advantage, in my opinion, just because of the fact that they're scoring.
Yeah, that just scoring for fun, man. Like teams like that.
Yeah, I saw I think a clip after I think the second goal that they conceded, Inter conceded. Barcelona had conceded. Pedri didn't even. Everyone was upset. Obviously, you conceded another goal. It was the third goal. That Barcelona had conceded.
Okay.
Picked up the ball, grabbed it. It seems small, but mentality-wise,
yeah.
There's no problem. They know they're going to score.
They're copying Real Madrid. That's why.
He knew in 2 minutes they're going to score.
Yeah,
and they did. But they're not mentality monsters, but they just know how to score. They're confident.
You know how to score. And just lastly on that game. One of the things that I was saying last week or the week before was one of the things that may hurt Inter that Bayern did against them. Because remember, Bayern technically won the game but lost the tie in San Siro. Barcelona are very, very, very good at, which is crossing the ball.
Yeah.
Like that cut back to from either Lamine crossing himself or that cut back to Pedri
Yeah.
for Ferran Torres' goal. Back post Rafinha knock it in for Ferran Torres bang.
Mhm.
Like I think you see
Yeah.
more of that coming. So
It's gonna be a good one, man.
it's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be spicy. Really quick to Arsenal versus PSG.
Hey, God is good, Sha.
Okay, that's the hate in you
I
talking.
mean, it's just natural. We discussed it in the last episode, and I won't harp on it too much, but they can't win. They can't win the UCL. It's just bad for everybody. What they've done is nice. I think we can all say that, the scalps they've collected along the way.
Yeah.
Okay, impressive, but you don't need to
Do you say that's too far?
That's way too far. So, but still, all in the balance. Really, 1-0 is it's not too much for them to come back from against PSG.
It's not.
That it's still hanging in the balance.
It's not. And again, Arsenal didn't do anything. Both teams didn't do anything surprising. For the interesting thing is the way the goal came. The only goal came is Arsenal obviously high pressing with pretty much everybody occupied with somebody, and Dembele, same way he scored at Anfield, just comes into the pocket of space, receives it, and just everybody bang, 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 just running towards. I think it went left to Avicha, Kvaratskhelia. He, when now, and the funny thing is when he goes, they are so fast on the break that Hakimi, Fabian Ruiz, all these guys got into the box before Dembele.
I mean,
and he just stays out there to receive the knockback, top of the key, and bang, inside the goal.
I thought it was interesting, and I think last episode we discussed. I thought what was going to be interesting for me to see was what Arsenal would do without Thomas Partey.
Yep.
Mikel Merino dropped back into midfield.
Yeah, and Trossard was the false 9.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Mikel Merino is a good player. He's having a great season, but I think for Arsenal at this moment, he's best utilized up top. They needed him in midfield. They thought that at least they needed him in midfield this game. And I just think they were kind of flat. I mean, Odegaard looked kind of flat.
Mm-hmm.
Their midfield looked kind of flat. And PSG kind of just, they took their chance.
Yeah. Honestly, the first half of the first half, I want to give a shout out to Timber because Kvaratskhelia had him gasping for air for the first half of the first half, and afterwards he was fine. Afterwards he was fine. Credit to Timber, but obviously towards the end of the game, PSG should have scored at least one more. Gonzalo Ramos hit the post, 1v1.
Completely different complexion to the tie.
Completely.
That game, the second, forgive me, this game, that was the Emirates. It was in London, correct?
Yes.
So, it was a quiet. I mean, again, it was pretty quiet.
Relatively
quiet. I think the ultras in Paris are gonna get loud. I know it's not the most tactical thing, but
it's gonna be interesting, right?
It's gonna be interesting.
We'll see. I mean, I don't. Again, anything can happen in that game as well. And I think, again, I don't know if you saw Arsenal getting smoke about their
the Tifo.
Tifo,
yes, I saw it. Of course, I saw it.
It was very interesting. Very interesting choice for them. I'm sure they'll show them how it's done in Paris. But I think PSG are favorites, but I'm not counting Arsenal out.
No.
And I was saying it again in one of the mock episodes that we did. This is no matter what happens this game to Arsenal, this is what they need. This experience is
fundamental,
very, very fundamental,
critical. PSG's. I mean, if you get your mind right, you can overcome this. But if you do not approach the game appropriately, you will. Yeah, you're gonna lose. I think it sounds simple to say, but I think as a team that has the ambitions that they want, that they have, this is a roadblock that they really have to overcome. So
we'll see. One thing that I thought was interesting was how Arsenal's chances came, and they came from either Declan getting the ball and driving through, then making the final pass to Martinelli. No, I think it was the final pass to Trossard and Donnarumma. I'm getting to him. I'm getting to him. That was their big chance, and then the second one was when Miles Lewis Kelly came into the middle, because obviously Arsenal like to overload the midfield by him coming here. Apparently, he's a midfielder by trade in the academy, so he's very comfortable here.
Okay.
Honestly, I like watching him because no fear. He demands the ball, man on. He will turn, and again driving the ball and giving Martinelli a through ball again from the left coming in. Great save by Donnarumma, which brings me to Donnarumma. He was immense.
And I think they played Arsenal and Arsenal PSG played in the group stage, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Arsenal won 2-0.
Yeah. And
I believe
Donnarumma he didn't have the best of games that game, so it's really nice to see. We all know, anybody who knows ball knows how on the day how big of a difference maker Donnarumma is. But he had a great game. One of the things that this game kind of taught me, which I mean is a no-brainer, but just how important Declan Rice has been, and how big of a difference he was in y'all's tie.
Yeah.
That was the difference.
Why are we going back?
I just wanted to say, like, him, I'd say Rice and Saka, because I've been watching. I mean, you watch Arsenal 2 months ago, how dire it really was, and how fresh they're. I mean, the ideas that they're trying to implement their style to play again is nice to see, even with key players still missing. Nobody up top. Nobody up note. Top. So very, very,
and
very fundamental period for them.
And for them, like again, you mentioned nobody up top. I think that's where the problem. If they come into a problem, that's where it probably will be. Because there's no problem defensively or limited problem. Even when you put Kirill there, they're decent.
Yeah.
Decent enough, at least defensively. Second best defensive record in the Champions League right now, I believe.
Oh wow.
So, there's something there, but we'll see. And you mentioned earlier when Thomas Partey comes.
Yeah.
Releases Declan to go on the left and work with Martinelli or cross balls in from there. We'll see.
It's gonna be a completely different game, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's go to goal of the week.
Goal of the week.
There was a Lamine goal against Inter. There was a Thuram goal in the same game. You can throw in Dumfries' overhead kick.
You can throw in Dumfries. I'm partial to the Rafinha that bounced off of Sommer's back of the head. It's just, I mean, come on.
He's just copying Valverde.
It was cold.
Nah, and I mean, again, just to be fair, I have to bring up Pedri's goal against us as well. Lamine from the left, cut back out.
Yes.
Slapped it top bin. So, yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Pedri. No, Lamine's goal was good. Actually, I don't know anymore. I was going to go with Pedri's goal against us, but Lamine's goal was pretty neat because he had to beat like a couple players and look around. Like it was a lot to do.
I mean, yeah, a lot to do. The stage at the time, the point of the game, was a huge goal. And it was just complete instinct.
Yeah.
You can't coach that.
You can't coach that. You can't coach that. You just those are the kind of players that you create a game around, build a game around. Just please don't. Again, even as a Real Madrid fan, like there are players in Barcelona history that I just can't bring myself to dislike. Ronaldinho, Neymar, I think he's one. Even Messi, obviously Messi is Messi, but I gravitate towards players like Lamine more, like Neymar more, stuff, just Mavericks like that. Yeah. So I am nervous for him playing this 100 games at 17.
That is wild. I did see that statistic.
Yeah. I'm nervous because same thing that happened to Pedri.
Yeah, I was about to say they have a penchant for kind of burning out their bright lights from the academy early on. That amount of tread on a tire that early can really be detrimental to a player. We saw that with Pedri, like you just mentioned, but it's only now that he's
getting back.
starting getting back to
his
do
best.
you think Yamal is getting? You watch a lot more of La Liga than I do. Do they chop him down physically, or is he kind of protected?
Really. He's kind of protected. I don't see. It's more like he doesn't get chopped down as much as Vinny. I'll tell you that. Like he's not.
That's
I
what
mean,
I
correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I don't see him getting chopped down as often. Yes, he gets hard tackles and stuff like that, but Vinny, even Hendrick gets
chopped,
body slammed. But maybe Yamal is that good.
Yeah. Or maybe next season we'll see. Maybe
we'll see. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we'll see. So upcoming fixtures. Obviously, the Champions League second legs. That goes without saying. Chelsea, Liverpool. You gotta.
Yeah, no, Chelsea, Liverpool, guard of honor. Really curious to see, how serious Liverpool is going to take that game. Obviously, it's definitely serious for us. We were helped out by the Brentford result against Forest. And Villa's not looking the most clear and straight, but we still need a favor from them, and we need to finish our dinner every game going forward. So
every single game,
and curious to see how, like I said, if Liverpool is going to be serious about that game, or I know they will be. I'm just trying to delude myself, but we're playing well. So
let's see. And Nico's back.
Nico's back. Romeo Lavia's back. One of the things I won't get too much into, but I thought was really cool, or also kind of concerning, when we played Everton, it was a combination of Enzo and Lavia to start the game. Caicedo was playing right back, and then Reece came in at central midfield in the second half. So we're definitely toying with our formations and stuff like that. We did not line up like that in Sweden, so I'm curious to see how we line up on Sunday.
My money is he may play Caicedo right back again because he'll be worried. We'll see.
This thing is being done with Reece. I think it's being done to make sure he's fit and stays fit. And this is the longest I've seen him in the team with no injuries. So if it's I'm like, oh, why is he not playing right back? Oh yeah, he's healthy. So it's just kind of busting. So it's going to be a great game.
Great game. Brighton, Newcastle. Again, top 4 ramifications. Huge game. In Italy, speaking of top 4, Bologna, Juve. Juve is above Bologna by a place. So, like, it's getting sticky there. And obviously, every single Inter and every single Napoli game is important going forward. Yeah. That's must watch. That goes without saying. In Spain, again, with Barca having Inter to play again and playing 120 minutes the game before the Inter game. This Valladolid game, they should win. They're favorites, but it'll just be interesting to see who plays, how they play. I'm personally hoping for a slip up, of course, long shot, but I will be keeping an eye on that.
How many points is the gap?
4. It's not 4. Hang on. I may be misspeaking. Maybe I wish it's 4, and it's not really 4, but it is 4.
Same games played?
Same games played. It is 4. And 4 including a Classico.
Okay. Ooh.
So we're playing again at not Camp Nou. They're innovative, but their current stadium.
Okay, right.
At Barcelona, essentially. We're playing at Barcelona soon. So we need to beat them and them to drop points. Because again, in La Liga, the first tiebreaker is head to head.
Okay.
So if we finish on the same points, we need to beat them like 6-0 because they have more goals
for sure.
And they spanked us. So anyway, eyes on that, and obviously Madrid Celta. Celta just lost to Barcelona 2 weeks ago, 4-3. That was the game that I was using to see like, okay, Barcelona's high line against a slow striker should be fine. The striker Iglesias ended up scoring a hat-trick. So
punished him.
So I say that to say Celtic is not pushed around despite their position in the league. So, but again, I'm at home in Madrid with nothing else to play for. I expect and Carlo leaving.
Yeah.
I expect.
Is that an official announcement, or is it kind of just touch
I
and
mean,
go? It's like rumor.
Yeah, it's Romano Official.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Yeah.
Fabrizio Romano Official.
Yeah, Comunicado, but the Comunicado Oficial is
it's
not.
No,
okay.
It's not out. Yeah, so
Claro.
Yeah, Claro. Yep. Mm-hmm. We'll see. And yeah, so those are the games that we'll be keeping an eye on. IQ Spotlight. I'm tired of talking about him. I'm not tired of talking about him. I'm just hating. Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, man. What a player.
He's cold, man. Have you seen I've seen 2 times now clips of people inverting his videos, like make him look like he's playing from the right. And that's Neymar.
Yeah. Wow. If you flip it, yeah, no, I would send me that.
100%. That it is Neymar, and those are the reasons why I'm like, I can't hate on him. He's just special.
I've tried to liken to. You think his style is most similar to like a early Ney?
Yeah, 100%. I think he's more. I mean, obviously because it's Barcelona and Messi's Messi.
Yeah.
They go to him, but he's more Neymar than Messi to me because he does have the little flair.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and
earlier I was like, I asked you, I was like, where's his daddy from? He kind of has that Brazilian vibe to him.
Yeah,
he's got more flair to him. So.
Yeah,
he's a. I mean, I think he's primed to be at the top. Primed to be at the top for the next
however long he decides.
Typically players like that have some like a foil, like a nemesis of some sort. I'm curious to see what player like kind of emerges that he's gonna kind of push him.
I mean, he honestly not anybody in his weight class at this moment, so he has to.
No.
He's
Hendrick.
No.
Arda Güler.
I mean, I don't think he's as talented.
Esteval's coming.
I don't think I don't know if Arda Güler is on his level because we haven't given him a chance to prove.
Yet, yeah.
But I think when he came on that Copa, it became obvious like you have to find a space for him. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Different player as well, but yeah, still I think in terms of talent, curious to see who's going to push him because you can't just be one guy.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just has to be resurgence of the other big boys of Vinny and Mbappe and Bellingham, and in England maybe.
Yeah. Who's his age mate? Who's his?
I'm not even talking age mate. I'm just talking period. Like the best players in the world.
Yeah.
Salah, to push him, stuff like that. So we'll see how his career goes. I just for the sake of the game, I just hope he stays healthy because that's a lot of games.
That's big.
That's it, man.
That's it. We got it. Yeah. Next week we'll be back. We'll be back with more. This weekend, chock full of events. Upcoming fixtures are going to be crazy. I can't wait to go through it again, man.
Yeah. All right. Another mock episode down. Shoot. Depending on the quality of this might even go. I'm not going to hold you.
We're getting better.
Yeah, we're getting better. But all right. Thank you for staying with us. More to come.